It's Saturday, the first Saturday of October. Tomorrow's my sister's. Oh, good day, ladies and gents. It's Saturday, the first Saturday of October, 3rd of October, 2020, with the peasant, the prodigious Professor Johnson at PNG. Thank you all for coming through. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Covered this, covered that. Oh, public austerity come Christmas. Looks like, doesn't it? We're locked in for Christmas. Locked in for Christmas. Is it going to affect your Christmas? Your children's Christmas? Is it going to affect your family's Christmas? But at the same time, is it going to affect your mental health for not going to the pub? The pub's going to shut early. The pub's going to shut early. Your circles become smaller. You can't have parties. You can't, you know. Everyone's got a drug dealer on speed dial. Drug dealers work around the clock. Is it going to affect your party? I don't take any alcohol or narcotics. I'm going to church in the morning. Just saying. I mean, people crying out, "Oh no, my mental health can go, go down the stairs. My mental health's going down the stairs." Hello, Beth. How you doing there? Thank you for coming through. Really appreciate you coming through. I've got some lovely people coming through on Castbox and on YouTube. It's good to see you come through. Thank you so much. Is your mental health? Oh, hello, Welchie. How you doing, girl? I didn't realise it was you. How you doing? Yeah. So, how's your mental health going through on the app? No, I haven't got the app anymore, dear. I don't think I'm gonna come back on it. To be honest, with you. I'm just doing my YouTube, my study, and just doing, my broadcasting. But lovely to see you come through. Is anyone's mental health going to go down the pan as lockdown measures? You, your mental health's not good. Why is your mental health affecting you, Beth? If you don't mind me asking. It's nice to interact with nice people in the audience. Is it because pubs are shut? Is it because you can't have a party with friends? You can't have more than six around the house? I think lockdown measures changed slightly, haven't they? Oh yeah, with bipolar, yeah, it's a big shock. Yeah, if you're dealing with bipolar, it's a bit of a shock to the system. But other than people, I'm not going to mock your illness. I don't want to do that. But other people that suffer from mental health because they can't go to the pub or they can't do narcotics with their mates, for instance, in a groupie, is that going to affect your mental health? I mean, your chemical imbalance through alcoholism and narcotics will impair, so it would make you worse. Yeah, I can imagine, Beth. That is absolutely. I mean, my friend Beth here said she can't see her family because of lockdown. It is hard. For some people, it's very, very hard. Um, like I say, I've got a lot of time, forbearance. I'm very preserved in myself. Um, I like to do reading. I like to study sociological society and change. Sociological change right now for the public austerity, for businesses, for people that are suffering through COVID, especially those in urban areas where they get sucked in by hackers and narcotics. I do feel for them because it's not always their fault. They do get bullied by the community. Let's go to the pub. Let's go to the pub. They feel like you'll get dragged down the pub with certain society. I've been there as a youngster, so I know what some people may be going through. Mental disorder, mental distress. I've been there, worn a t-shirt. I'm not going to lie. Like most politicians say, I'm absolute purity through, birth till now. It's all lies. All lies, let me tell you. No one's perfect. I like to think I'm perfect, but I'm not perfect. I can paint a perfect picture, but I'm not perfect. I've got some squeaky edges, not too many. Don't look through that conversation. Think I could be worse than what I'm saying. I'm letting on, but no, I've got a few imperfections that need to be correct. Well, I've corrected them. Let's face it. Let's face it. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I'm really enjoying myself. Anyway, we're looking at the other things that are affecting the population. Asylum seekers, ladies and gents. Subscribe. It means a lot if you subscribe. Helps me become populism on social media. I'm trying to warrant this as a business. I've put a lot of hard work, time, and integrity. Talking about everyday problems, even citizens' advice, probably more advice than citizens' advice can give you because you go there with a lot of problems, a lot of provocations. They'll probably give you a food bank voucher. You come out none of the wiser what the problem you went in with because these people aren't educated enough to give you the right direction. Anyway, asylum seekers in UK considered floating barriers in Channel. The government looked into putting floating barriers in the English Channel to stop asylum seekers crossing to the UK. A leaked document shows. The Home Office approached the trade group Maritime UK over the possible use of temporary marine fencing in a request for ideas sent over the summer. This, it said, must be able to prevent a slow-moving, heavily overloaded migrant boat from making progress. 2 seconds, someone's calling in. Oh. The government said it did not comment on leaks. On Maritime, UK said it is the clear view. The building of a wall in the channel was not legally possible under the terms of the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea. This year, almost 7,000 people have reached the UK in more than 500 small boats, often totally unsuited to the conditions. Home Secretary Priti Patel has described determined to stop this criminal trade. Her constituency is Witton, not far from where I am in Chelmsford. The government has looked at setting up a processing centre for asylum seekers on Accession Island, 4,000 miles from the UK, or on discussed ferries moored off the coast of England. Meanwhile, the Times has reported that other proposals drawn up by the Home Office included the use of water cannon in the channel to create waves to push back vessels. The innovation on Thursday, the most senior civil servant at the Home Office, Matthew Wycroft, told MPs that everything is on the table when it comes to improving the UK's asylum system. He added that the UK have been looking at the whole host of the other countries to do in order to bring innovation into our system. An email for Maritime UK sent on the 17th of October and first seen by the Financial Times included the request put out by the government over the summer, asking what options are available for marine fencing and other water-based technologies that would inhibit passage to UK territorial waters. These needed the capability to fully prevent a slow-moving, heavily overloaded migrant boat from making progress and had to be deployable to a precise location and capable of remaining in that position. The request added that the technology had to be rapidly deployable and rapidly removable, while being safe for those who come into contact with it or for those operating it. The Strait of Dover, separating the channel of the North Sea, is the world's busiest ship lane. The Home Office suggested that any fencing to be placed on the medium line which separates French and UK territorial waters, but without an equipment entering French waters. It was reported earlier this year that the Greek government was planning to construct a barrier of nets to deter people crossing the Aegean by boat from Turkey. These would see pylons connected to the seabed, leaving it half a metre, topped by flashing lights above the surface. The magazine Dezeen said. I mean, this before we head on to the last paragraph. I mean, you could be, a foreign citizen trying to, seek asylum or get a residency in England, perhaps. Do you find it as like a fascist attack? Do you find it, I mean, England are now going to become like Australia. You need a visa. You need a visa, strong visa to give you the set up to come into our government and live in it under our, in the Queen's land. You can't just come here willy nilly like a free fall. Government population growth is a big thing, and it will destroy all humanity if they let it. So it's not a bad thing, is it, putting a structure in place for people just come into our country willy nilly. Well, I don't think we can go to many countries and just live there. Even Turkey, you have to get a visa. So it's not fascist or an extremist event that's going on. It's a structure to keep our dominion, well, strictly occupied, really. If you ask me, it's nothing rude. It's not. You might see. I don't think any different ethnicities might think it's an attack at their society. Now they're here, aren't they? It's not. It's a thing to keep it maintained. I don't think that even the slightest, because they've got a good head in their shoulders and they see sense. They're not all fickle like English. English. Some English people are exactly the same. Some English people are exactly the same. Very extremist. It's not a fascist attack. If anyone, I've got listeners from listening all over the world. Just why I'm trying to explain it without putting myself in a deep hole at the same time. Ruthless criminals. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has described some of the ideas being considered by the Home Office as inhumane and ridiculous. When asked about the possibility of a floating wall in the Channel, Home Office spokeswoman said the department does not comment on leaks. They also said, as the public will fully understand, we do not comment on operational matters because to do so could provide an advantage to exploitative and ruthless criminals who facilitate these dangerous crossings as they look for new ways to beat the system. Ben Murray, Director of Maritime UK, said, as the umbrella organisation for the UK Maritime, we are a conduit between industry and government and are often asked by government for advice or input on policy matters. The Home Office engaged us to pass on the question around options to inhibit passage to the UK territorial waters, which we gave to our members. The clear view, which we shared with the Home Office, was that a matter of international convention, that this is not legally possible. There's another thing as well. I don't know if you've seen it in DWP, you know, single people want to get a couple, and they're promoting £500 for a new start with family. I mean, in the public austerity, people think more money in my pocket. Let's make a kid. That is very. I know they used to do it, and they used to help out, new couples having a newborn baby. They're sort of pushing it in the winter months. Seems, doesn't it? It's like mating season come winter. It's crazy. It's absolute crazy. I just want to read something. It's a bit of promotion work. I'm not trying to make you switch sides or um, switch your formation of politics, but I've said, I'm very bona fide conservatism through family traditions, genuine and traditional. Very, very important in your family upbringing, your family traditions. Conservatives. I've got a message from Dominic Baid today. Conservative. Justin, let me begin by saying thank you. Thank you. Because as a key member of our party, you did it. You delivered a conservative majority of 80. So like you're at home, you haven't got a girlfriend, you've got no friends. Do something good for society. Don't let it go to waste. I mean, even like joining the church or whatever. But if you like politics, you want to get involved, it's another good idea. I help Conservative win the majority. Only an 80 majority, but it could have been 79. Without my help, helped them push through. You worked your heart out. We drew the political map of Britain and gave this country a stable and patriotic government. It's only the Conservatives that believe United Kingdom can and should still play a truly global role. The rest don't. We're the only ones. We delivered Brexit as promised, and under the Conservatives, there is no question that the days of being held over a barrel by Brussels are long gone. Our government will control our fisheries, our parliament will pass our laws, and our courts will judge them. But tell me, Justin, why do some people find it so hard to take pride in this great country of ours? In recent survey of young people globally, Britain was ranked as the most attractive country in the world. But if you were to listen to the debate here at home, you'd think we were rock bottom. Oh, and by the way, we ranked third before the referendum in 2016. So, as a Conservatives, we now have a responsibility. I'd say a solemn duty to our children, not to shrink into the shadows, but to look into the stars. And with you by our side, we can do it, and we'll do it. Thank you, Dominic Bain. As you know, I'm a trainee cancer. I'm working with the Conservative Club. I don't know if you've seen my social media. I mean, my speeches on here are quite optimistic, aren't they? I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I'm not the best, but I'm doing a good job. And I'm not wasting my money on alcoholism and narcotics. I see fluent. I'm trying to support the democracy, bringing up the youth of today in the right direction. bringing up the evangelists, preaching the gospel in the wrong direction. I'm tackling all kinds of society. Sporadic knife crime, trying to influence kids to lead a better life. Youth for today. I've got a good soul, and I intend to excel and try and bring people forward to better themselves. Don't lead some life what I went through as a kid as well. Like I say, no one's perfect. Doesn't mean you have to go through them mistakes like I did. As I died 3 times when I was 18, narcotics, but being with friends, taking punches for friends, and don't take a punch for you. Just bear that in mind. Use your initiative. Parliament building work delays cost 2 million a week. And I didn't give up. I didn't give up. My doctor, I'm not even going into details. I don't want no compassion, but we're going to move on anyway. I was going to get into compassionate, feel sorry for me, old card. Get the violins out, mate. But no, I was just trying to influence others. You can't. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, we can all do it. Better yourself. Delayed repairs to the Palace of Westminster cost taxpayers 2 million a week. A government spending watchdog says politicians have been scheduled to leave the building for at least 6 years, while building work is completed and at an estimated cost of 4 billion. But in May, the body overseeing the work said the move should be reviewed due to the financial pressure of coronavirus. The Public Accounts Committee said the few decisions that have been taken so far did not need reviewing. And we've got winter coming up. It's going to be hard in the next few coming months. They're doing work to the around the roof, around the top part of the building. No one water leaks coming through the building. Definitely not. We've got a torrential rain coming this month. I think it's going to last for a month. It'll be a heck of a job for builders to be up there that high in the rain. Committee's Labour Chair Meg Hillier also warned the excessive political interference in the process may muddy the waters and make delivery of the project more difficult. Earlier this year, the Prime Minister suggested the House of Lords could be moved to York on a permanent basis. This idea was later rejected, but the government said it would continue to push for a move out of London, even though the final decision will be down to the MPs and peers. Miss Hillier said Parliament is literally falling apart around the thousands of people who work there and a million or so who, in better times, visit every year. It poses a very risk to health and safety in the current state. After nearly 20 years of discussion and cost to the taxpayer, or just maintaining Parliament, now rising by 2 million a week, we don't need it. What we don't need is your authorities to keep reopening and reviewing what few decisions have been taken. The cost of the project will be high, but doing nothing is not an option and is certainly not a cost-free option. Without action, we are just ratcheting up the bill to the taxpayer. Get to work. The Labour MP suggested the coronavirus pandemic meant Parliament was quieter than usual, providing an opportunity for building work to go ahead. It is time for these responsible to get creative and get to work, she said. Responding to the committee's report, Sarah Johnson, CEO of the House of Lords of Parliament Restoration and Renewal Sponsor Body, said the review was aimed at securing value of money and providing certainty about the way forward. The work to save our Parliament buildings for the nation is essential and urgent, and the Palace of Westminster continues to be a high risk of catastrophic damage. But that major fire, flood and failing masonry, she added. The Palace of Westminster, which houses the Commons and Lords, has long been in need of repair, and in 2018 MPs voted for refurbishment work to go ahead. Who done the blueprint of the Parliament? I know this without even, I don't know when, I can't remember the year, precise year. I don't know if it was something like 1600 or something, but I know it is Pugin. It's Pugin. Pugin done the blueprint. Political interference. Under current plans, parliamentarians will move into temporary accommodation while the major repairs are carried out. However, the sponsor body, a panel of politicians, and building experts set up to oversee the restoration said it would review the project, looking at ways of cutting costs, including alternatives to decanting Parliament to a different building. Renovation could happen around politicians as they continue working in the building, although the process could take longer and cost more. It is a report. The Public Accounts Committee warned that excessive political interference made muddy the waters of the sponsor body's work and has the potential to make delivery of the programme more difficult. It advised the body to publish details what it considers are the main risks to building political consensus and how it plans to mitigate those risks. And it suggests the sponsor body launch an engagement strategy to ensure the public can feed into decisions. Is it a bad thing that they're renovating Parliament? Hello, Tony. Peace and one love, sir. Lovely to see you, mate. Thank you for coming through. You're always popping by. Always, you're like my number one supporter. I should do a Christmas gift for Tony Angel. Thank you very much. You're here every day. Don't miss a show. Really appreciate it. Now we're going to the next part of the UK politics. We had a bit of, always have a bit of social debate. UK based, UK politics based is a people pleaser as well, if you like. I like to interact with the audience. I like to make friends. I like to talk about people problems. Everyone's got people problems. Maybe bought some second-hand goods, faulty goods from a second-hand shop. You get 6 months warranty. Take the goods back. Don't if it doesn't give you your money back or an exchange, you ring up trading standards. Sit in the vice bureau won't tell you to do the same. So don't waste your time. If your alienated mother or father, seek mediation. Shouldn't have to go through all this pain, should you really? Should be able to just go, kick the door down and take the kid out if that's what you want to do. You're on a birth certificate, but you're not allowed to. You have to go and seek mediation. Ask for C100, CM100. Douglas Ross tells Tory party conference Scottish independence not inevitable. Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross has called on his party to end the defeatism and distincturist regarding the country's future in the UK. That's a new word, isn't it? Disinterest. It's a long word, but a tongue twister with defeatism. Mr. Ross said both an SNP majority in 2021 election and a Scottish independence is not inevitable. He also urged a speech at the UK party conference to change attitudes of members south of the border. Mr. Ross comments come in the wake of the polls showing a majority of Scots are now in favour of independence. The Murray MP, who is seeking to win a Hollywood seat in May after becoming leader in August, used his conference address to insist the union cannot be an afterthought. So what I'm trying to think of, guys, I need to get my house phone so I can interact with people on YouTube and Castbox. You know, you might have a query that we want to discuss about politics. I might ask you a question. How do you think the Prime Minister is doing, perhaps? Or who do you think the new Prime Minister is and why? We can have a great, discussion. Not to discriminate each other's political views, just to hear everyone else's point of view. Have like a debate. A friendly debate rather than, I see on LBC got some really nasty, got some nasty presenters as well, people calling in actually, to be honest with you. Some people ain't very good at confrontation and it gets a bit of it's more like ammo for Arsenal, some don't agree with them and they get a bit aggressive. So, you've got to really think, like if you want to call in, you've got to try and keep it peacemaking, but also being amicable with the debate as well. Where was we? Global Britain, ladies and gentlemen. In his first major speech since he replaced Jackson Carlaw, Mr. Ross said, the case for separation is now being made more effectively in London than it ever could in Edinburgh. Defeatism and disinterest towards the future of the Union's right. Too many treat Scottish independence as a question of when, not if. Question why Scottish interests should be put first, if Scotland won't always be around. In a strongly worded speech, he not only directed his criticism at rank and file members, but also at the very top of the party. Mr. Ross added, many, including some who govern our country want to see a UK government focused on England. We pretend these are the views of only a small minority, but I hear them far too often. If you think Scotland place in the UK isn't worth the fight, then you're wrong. You're in the wrong party. He also told delegates that too many in England have forgotten that unionism is in our party's DNA. And he had warned the Scottish independence would place a global Britain with a little England. He was rattled by Mr. Ross's rattle, said he knows how to beat Nicola Sturgeon's party, having taken the Moray seat from Angus Robertson in 2017 and being re-elected last year. He added, an SNP majority is not inevitable. Independence is not inevitable. It is time for the whole Conservative Party to rediscover unionism and get behind us. This is a fight we can win. Mr. Ross insisted the SNP can be stopped and pointed to questions being asked of the First Minister over government handing off harassment allegations against Alex Salmond. He also highlighted the holes in SNP's comment over Margaret Thatcher Ferrier, who was suspended from the party after breaching coronavirus self-isolation rules. We was talking about it yesterday. What an absolute lunatic. Drove all the way from Scotland down to London. Travelled by train. Positive coronavirus. But SNP Deputy Leader Keith Brown said the fact that Douglas Ross is only talking about defeatism says it all. He is rattled by the opinion polls and floundering around desperately for a coherent argument for keeping together a union that continues to fail Scotland. His latest ramblings are even more non-social than normal. Ross knows independence is becoming the set of the Scottish people, and now amount of hollow words will prevent Scotland getting a chance to choose a better future with independence. So that Margaret Ferrier has got COVID. She travelled on a train all the way to Parliament. I mean, that is, very, very ludicrous, isn't it? Would you risk everyone's life knowing you've got COVID-19? That's not taking, it's like walking with a backpack full of explosions, isn't it, through a town centre? It's like a suicidal attempt for everyone else, not really caring about others, only caring about yourself, getting from A to B, not worrying about kids on vulnerable people on the train, young children on the train, adults, not having a care in the world. Very, very selfish thing to do. Anyway, something else I'd like to get into. I mean, at the minute, you've got Joe Biden and Donald Trump running for president election. Looks like Joe Biden might beat President Trump, but then he's pulled off I don't know if it's a political stunt to get the compassionate vote. I think, I've got COVID, I'm positive COVID. Then you've got, got a private doctor. Yes, I got COVID. Make people feel sorry for me. Get the upvotes so I can beat Joe Biden. I reckon that's what he's done. That's what I don't know. I don't know what to side with that. If you don't upset certain people, but to me, that's a bit skeptical illusion that he's got COVID-19. Boris Johnson had it, Prime Minister. No man ever that you know had it. Then Donald Trump gets it, another president, someone running the country. How ironic is that? How ironic. Usain Bolt got it as well. I know people are getting it. People are getting COVID. It's not an optical illusion. It's not out there. It is out there. But of all people to get it, you think to yourself, has anyone in my family got COVID-19? Has anyone mate's got COVID-19? Scratching me and trying to think. I don't think anyone has had it. So why has Boris Johnson had it and why has Donald Trump had it? I mean, Boris Johnson was believable, but 50-50 believable. I thought, strange. The Prime Minister's got it, but now Donald Trump's got it as well. I mean, what much of an optical illusion is that? That is a big, big optical illusion. I don't know if any of you, anyone else is scratching their head at that, scratching their head thinking, how can both people in charge get COVID-19? Of all people, globally, you think if it happened in Italy, Boris and Trump are very they're like, our closest two prime ministers, America and English soil was pretty much similar, and that both our president and prime minister have got COVID-19. To me, that's ironic. I don't know about what you think about that, but if he has got it, shouldn't be joking about it. So I don't want to, I don't want to take it too far, but it does get you thinking, though, doesn't it? It does get you thinking. I don't want to take it away from him that he might actually have it, and his wife might have it, and he might not come out the other side if he has got it because of his age. So I'm not going to totally write that off. You can't, I mean, we do get propaganda, as we know, but that might not necessarily be the case. Let's moving on so we don't upset too many people. People not the I mean, the part of the aristocracy is social elite, but no, by pension deposit. It's got a nice mannerism. Money's not, you know what? Money isn't the root to happiness. Living the life of ascetics, pure ascetics, is the root to happiness. It doesn't matter if you ain't got a bean in your pocket. As long as you're not taking alcohol or narcotics, living a life of pure ascetics, the highs and lows in life. You've got debt coming to the door. That's the only low in life. The higher life is that you're fluent. 365 days a year, don't wait for hangover. You see crystal clear. You should be the man in charge. You're the man in charge because you see things crystal clear. You very rarely make mistakes. If you do make mistakes, you can correct them, can't you? Because you're on the ball. I make a few mistakes, not loads, very rarely, but I talk. If I was an evangelist, I've seen some evangelists very, very terrible, preaching the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong place. Major change to PIP telephone assessment is now live. What it means for everyone making a claim. Face-to-face consultation have been replaced by telephone and paper-based assessment due to COVID-19. This has been updated. This is from the 2nd October, so I'm going to read into it because it might be slight influenza public lockdown. Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, suspended face-to-face assessments for personal independent payment, which is PIP, claimed in March as part of UK government measure. However, many people waiting a telephone assessment may not be aware of crucial change that is taking place. Capita, to assess people who are claiming PIP. IAS providing a PIP assessment in Scotland, the north east and north west of England, London, the south east and east of England, south west of England. Capita carries out PIP assessment for Teresa Coffey, Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, confirmed that audio recording has now started on some telephone assessments. It's got some little. Oh, that's right. Mr. Kofi has said, let me find that. Bear with me, though, gents. It's just got a little pop up coming up. It's bugging me. There we go. I think here we go. No, no. Yes, got it. Got it. Got it. The boys got it. Mr. Kofi said, IS started audio recording of telephone assessment on 21st September, but that has not yet started with Capita. She continued, that is under. I can assure you, active management to get Capita going quickly on this. The DWP insists that assessments are only recorded following an explicit request from the claimant themselves, and that IAS only started their focus pilot on September 20th. If you're listening, guys, and you want to help grow the community to interact with each other, please feel free to share and interact. Get them to interact, get them to subscribe. We can all meet here and have different debates about things. We can have up and coming elections. We have one today and we passed the majority by 80. Another change made to telephone assessment is the ability for the third party callers to dial in and offer support to the claimant. The Kofi explained, we've now made it possible, as far as I'm aware, that third parties can do assessments with kind of help people. The Secretary of State of Work and Pensions was referring to help to claim, which is a service offered by Citizen Advice in Scotland and across the UK, which offers independent support for people making benefit claims. Yeah, like I say, ladies and gents, rather than pound, I think, for a year to start up in politics, you can see why things are shaping up for the better of our future, for kids better for their future. Look how cheap it is now for us to get educated. Going for public austerity, look, all these courses, you can get a business management course for free off the government by a conservative charge. I mean, public austerity, once we come out of the other end, there's going to be big jobs open, big opening for different jobs. There's a good chance to, get what you need in life, get where you want to be in life. So, why conservative on the government, everything becoming costly. Rather than having money thrown at you and then going out binge drinking, binge eating, you might be getting a little bit less, but you can use these courses to benefit your future. Get out of government funds and work for your. You'd be going out working for your money, being comfortable with a good job because it's free education, English, maths. I think they've got all different, so many different courses. You can get cheap degrees as well of Read, Read.com. So I'm giving you, giving you a few things you get diplomas, degrees, PhDs on Read.com. They can do like business management course. They're doing things like ACL learning. All your government have these, different things you can do. Maybe you want to be a French teacher. Have a look online at different computer courses you can do. ECDL, European Computer Driving License, another one. I'm giving you free information to better broaden your horizon, better your future. Because your business, maybe you're a plumber or a bricklayer, not getting any work, you can in public lockdown, people can't afford for builders to go out to work, but you can become an accountant. If you want to become an accountant, you can work from home, can't you? If you're an accountant, you're not just an accountant for one company. If that company goes down, you can apply other things, NHS, McDonald's. There's always something out there. There's always something out there. So, think about broadening your horizon to better the future. Oh no, I'm looking at doing a business management course. So once I get everything I need, I can probably walk into several different scenarios my um, with my political background. But my radio is going to be something I'm going to do full time because I'm helping others. Me giving you that information is helping democracy at large. If you listen in, some people might not want to listen in. They come in, they just chill out, relax. They're probably lurking rather than supporting and listening, taking in a bit of initiative. But anyway, I'm going to say take care, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't this evening. Be safe, not sorry. Take care. One love. Speak soon.